Necesito acumular las horas en el hourly watch, porque tengo nada más como 60 horas, necesito 4,000
¿Para qué?
para poder monetizing, start monetizing.
4.000 qué, 4.000 horas de live.
4,000 horas en total.
Oh, of watch time. Got it.
¿Entiendes?
Of
En
watch
total,
time. I thought you were saying like 4,000 live
no,
hours.
no, no, 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So, comenzamos a grabar también. Bueno, welcome to our book club. I was about to start talking in
Yeah.
Spanish. Today we're going to discuss the book called The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan. Okay. The book, as usual, we do the evaluation of in 3 areas: how the book was written overall and how the book impact yourself. So, Stephanie, you want to start this time?
Sure.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's do
I
it.
have good questions for you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I have questions for you. Actually, we can maybe like go back and forth. So yeah, man, like what do you think of the idea? I think is fairly simple. Like going from focusing on what is it that you're missing from what you who you want to be, like you are where you are right now, and then there is that ideal version of yourself and thinking about that gap of what you're missing, and going from focusing on that to focusing on the what you have achieved so far since you started. So I don't know, I've always focused mainly on that kind of gap of what is it that I'm missing to get to where I want to go. Um, so actually I would like to ask you, what do you think of of that idea, and how do you think you would implement it? Where do you fall? Like, do you focus more on one over the other? Where are you, and where do you stand after reading the book?
Great question. So I'm always catching myself, as you saying, focusing on where you want to go or where you want to achieve instead of basically being happy where you at. Okay. I believe that you have to be a balance because I've been in both sides. So I've been sometimes very happy where I'm at, but then you stop progressing, stop evolving, stop growing. And the same time, I've been where I want to be all the time, and then I'm not happy where I'm at. So you have to be always a balance between both to actually feel happy and fulfilled. Okay, because if you on one side or the other, I think is it's damaging. It's not good. Okay. So, but you have to catch yourself on being too much on the other one or too much on the other side. So as long as you catching yourself and like when you see too comfortable and you are like in a very comfortable zone, you know that you are there and you have to push yourself to continue growing and start thinking, okay, what's my plan, what I want, where I want to go next, because a lot of times what happens is you achieve something and you are very happy now because you achieved, but then you just stop. That's it. You're not growing anymore. Okay. So right. And I learned that from Tony Robbins. He said that once in one of his programs. It's like before you're achieving what you want, or you're already close, you're about to achieve what you want, you should already have the next one. Because once you achieve that, you like in a limbo, you're like all relaxed. And no, you have to have a next one already. Because if not, you're gonna be in a comfortable zone, and then you're gonna feel a little bit down, relaxed, but you're losing the drive to continue growing,
Yeah.
you know? And I've been there myself. Again, not once, probably a couple of times, It's still good than not having something that you want. It's good always to achieve things, right? And you have to feel good about it. But at the same time, you need to have that balance,
Yeah, I agree.
in
I
my
think
opinion.
also that, yeah, I think so too. Especially if you, I think there's also this factor that if you're aspiring to do more, if you're reaching for something, that the act of reaching, it kind of like opens yourself up to fail and to just be vulnerable to things that are outside of your control. Like if you try to do something, anything, you're vulnerable to things that you cannot control, right? It's
Right.
just what it is. Um, and I think that when when it becomes, at least for me, when it becomes useful to just look back at what you have done and kind of like feel good about what you have done, is when kind of like life knocks you out, kind of thing. Like when you go into those valleys where you're thriving, you are reaching, you're trying to look for the things that you want to get done, and something doesn't go right, you're failing, it's just
Right.
not working out. Then I think it's very useful to be like, well, yeah, this is not working out, this is part of the progress, but let's also look at everything I have done and all the things that I can be grateful for, right?
Right.
But I just think that if, like, on the day to day, when you're trying to do things, I don't know how useful it can be to just think of all the things you have done already. It kind of like settles you down. It's kind of
Right.
like, yeah, look how
Yeah.
good I am. But it's that like the what you have done may not be nothing compared in comparison to what you want to do,
Right.
right? The version you are right now, it's not the version you want to be. And just feeling good with who you are right now, it's just, I don't see how that helps you get to the next level. Um, Again, it's part of the process. It's part of using it when it's right. Again, I think during those valleys. But yeah, I don't know. I think in the day to day, it's just more useful to think about what's the next thing. What skill do I need to acquire? What is the next thing that I need to do? You know?
Yeah, it's definitely, you need that for to drive yourself. You really need that drive, that inspiration, that push, um and constantly driving to grow and be better. If you just settle and you feel good and be grateful of what you already accomplished, you just stop growing. And that just nature of humans, I think. It's just the way it is. And the thing is, the part that I told you, that you have to have your goals to the next level before you achieve the one that you want. Because again, my life right now used to be my dream. It's used to be all the things that I have right now. There were at some point where, well, my goals, my everything. I want to get to that point. But now when I'm here right now, I have to have other goals. If not, I'm just gonna stuck. It's not, I don't have anything to look for. But at the same time, you need to feel happy. You need to feel that you accomplish things. Because what happens there is, and again, when you start having family, kids, when you're just thinking about growing and accomplishing things, then you start forgetting other things that are important too, which is dedicating time for your family, being around with your kids, and that settles you down. And that's what you just have to sit down and be grateful for all the things that you have.
Yeah.
But again, it's a balance. The
Yeah,
life
yeah.
is it's all about balance in different areas. When you go too much in one area, then something is suffering.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think it depends on what stage of the journey you are, right?
Right. Right.
I remember that in the beginning when I got to US, like everything was what's next. Like I hadn't achieved anything that I thought was like remarkable, right?
Yes.
Um, so it's like, and it was tough. It's like if everything, if my and yeah, it may not have been perfect, but like if your identity or what you think you are, it's depending on what you're working towards or what you're working on, which hasn't happened yet. It's just what you're doing. It feels like anything outside of what you're doing and striving to do is just not, you're not okay with that, and I think that's what kind of like the negative aspect of it, where you just focus on that gap between where you are and where you want to go, and nothing else matters. And if you're not fulfilling that, then you're a failure and you have all these negative emotions. But I don't know, I think not that many people think that way. Or maybe some people do, and that's where it becomes useful to have this balance. But I think that what we're talking about is like, as long as you have both ways and know which one to use when you need it, um, I think it's useful to think of that gap and just try to, become better and just focus on that.
I also think that we as humans should always try to focus on enjoying the journey itself, not as much as the end of it, you know. Meanwhile, you enjoying the journey, you have control of your happiness, you know, because if your happiness depends on the end of the journey, then it can be very you can be very unhappy,
Yeah.
because sometimes this things doesn't go your way, or you're never gonna achieve what you trying for, or something happens, whatever. So, but as long as you can enjoy the journey of getting the things that you want, I think that's where the sweet spot is, you know.
That's good. Yeah, I will give it a probably a 7 across the board.
Just same. You got the same grade as me.
Oh,
Seven,
really?
7, 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, a lot of things I already heard before, all, and the happiness, and I like more when the books talks about more of discipline than happiness, It's you cannot be all the time happy. It's just impossible, you know. But but being disciplined helps you to achieve things, and 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 uh, and be happy if you want. But being happy all the time, it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's just impossible, It's now being successful, being disciplined, focus. Those things are kind of inclined more. Again, happiness is very important, but it's just not the thing that should be always be focus on. Because if you just think about your happiness, then maybe you're just gonna be doing things that you're not supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
because if you're just gonna do things that makes you happy, like doing nothing's made me happy. Just want
Yeah.
to sit down home and not doing nothing. I don't like paying my bills. It doesn't make me happy, but I have to, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I don't like, the focus about happiness all the time. But I guess, but it is important.
That's
You
a
need
great
you
point.
need to, it is important. You need to have that happiness in your life. Um, what I want to ask you a question is, what is your version of success? In your opinion, what success is the meaning? What is the meaning of success for you?
Mm, I think that, well, you already touched on this, but no, I don't think it's one thing, like doing one thing or being one thing or just one thing is more of a series of different things. Um, yeah, kind of things that I would like to do and things that I would like to embody, if that makes sense. When you ask me that, I think of, well, I want to be healthy, or at least do the best thing, do the best that I can to be healthy. If there's something outside of my control, well, it happened, but exercise, eat well. Um, I want to do very well financially and be free and provide that for my kids. Having kids, having a great family, have them all be together. My family is all over the place. I would like to us all be together. And being a great husband and great father, great brother to son, all of those things. So it's a series of things, I will say. And these happens throughout time. So it's not like one thing
Right.
right now, or that it can be successful like in 2 years or 5 years.
No, and the success for you, the meaning of success right now doesn't necessarily means in 10 years that's gonna be the same meaning.
Yeah.
For you right now in your stage of your life, it's must be a lot different what success means than, let's say, in my stage of my life, what success means. It's just different stages of life, and your focus and your things that you want to achieve are totally different.
What about you?
Well, I wrote mine. Mine is
Of
provide.
course you did. Of course you wrote that down. You can.
I knew you're gonna ask me back because you always do. So I was like, you know what? Let me get prepared because.
Yeah.
But it's couple of things. So one of them is mine is to provide best quality life for my family and my team that works with me, and then the other one is, which is a little bit more complicated, and that's been my focus for a while now, is to be able to build generational wealth for my kids so they can build on top of that and pass on the next generation.
Nice.
You know,
What do you say that was complicated?
which is more complicated to achieve,
Oh, got it.
in the sense of you cannot do that from one day to another. It's the quality life you can, it's easier to achieve, which is in providing, which I've been doing it for quite a while now. But to achieve that generational wealth,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time and dedication and focus, and planning.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are.
That's good. Okay.
One of the things that book mentioned, I'm always putting this away, and I know how good it is journaling. And I started. I have a notebook in my desk and everything. I've been writing it, but then I'm always putting it away. And it talks about how good it is, and how you should reflect all the time on the things you've done and the things you want to achieve, how you feel at the moment, and basically gradually continue writing all the time about your life.
For a time, for like several months, I did journaling, but video. So what I would just turn it on using actually Ecamm Live, and it would just go to YouTube and set it up as unlisted. So it's just there. And I think that's the best type of journaling I have ever done. And I'm glad you mentioned it because I may do it again. It was it
I
was
actually like this. I
it
actually
was
like this.
awesome. You turn it on and you just talk. And the best thing is that with AI, you can turn that bad boy into text whenever you want, if you wanted to. Right. So it's the friction is much less. It's also cool because you think of like your grandkids or your kids at some point may actually watch yourself struggling with these issues later on. It's just, I think it's awesome.
I like it. I like it. I never done it this way. I was just journaling, writing down. But now it's cool. Yeah, with the videos. Could be
Yeah.
interesting. Awesome. So yeah, my score is 777 as well. And I guess we have our next discussion is going to be on December, which is going to be the last one for this year, December 6th. And our book name for that discussion is, it's not opening now, of course. Business Adventures by John Brooks. It's going to be our next book.
I'm gonna look it up.
So yeah, thank you very much, Stefano.
Thank you.